Hey there, how are you? My name is Dennis. I've been overweight for most of my adult life. Yesterday, I made a decision that I don't want to be overweight anymore. Earlier this week, I made the decision to adopt a keto or ketogenic diet. I've spent too many years now lamenting my ever increasing weight and trying to pretend that I have some self image of something that I'm not. I'm going to document this journey as I look for understanding, as I look for answers, and as I attempt to reshape myself physically once again. I get that keto is the current fad. It's what's popular, it's what everybody's doing, but I have at least a little bit of a base of reference for why this might actually be successful for me. So let's set the benchmark here. I'm 43 years old. I am a father of 6. I've been married to my lovely wife for 24 years. We've both gone through several weight loss struggles over the 2.5 decades that we've been together. As of today, day one of this journey, I weigh 270 pounds. It's almost painful for me to say out loud, but I think it's important if I'm going to utilize this medium to help me stay focused, to keep me accountable, and to keep me on track. The first time I got serious about losing weight was in 2005. The stars kind of aligned perfectly, and I started visiting a YMCA on a very regular basis. My wife was actually working at the YMCA in the child care center, which basically got us a free membership. I was working on the road from home as a sales rep. So I had all the time in the world to stop at the gym 2, 3, or more times a week, jump on that elliptical machine, and beat the hell out of my body. And I saw some significant success. I had always been a bigger guy. All through high school, I was 210, 215, 220 pounds. But I was never really overweight. I certainly didn't have all of this extra here and all of this extra here. At about the age of 30, I had driven my weight all the way back down to 208 pounds. I was dumbfounded. I was elated. I was on top of the world. I wasn't that skinny in high school. Life, careers, they have a funny way of changing. That fairly well paying sales job vanished. The need to care for our ever growing family fell back on my wife. So, bye bye YMCA. And just like before, I watched the weight come right back. In 2010, I became aware of a new fad diet called South Beach. And my wife and I decided to jump into it whole hog. Here we go. It's time to slim down. It's time to get healthy again. Cut out every scrap of bread, grain, pasta, carbohydrate, sugar. I lived on lean meat and green vegetables for 2 weeks before I was even able to have a piece of fruit. It was excruciating to say the least. I think that I probably ended up going maybe 2 months before it just became unrealistic and frankly unsustainable. When you're trying to feed a family, when you're trying to budget your groceries around the needs of several growing children, it's all but impossible to avoid all of the foods that you're not supposed to eat and not supposed to buy. I couldn't justify creating for myself a diet that the rest of the family would not be on. It was just too much of an expense. From 250 pounds down to 235 before I finally had to give it up and just go back to everyday life. So from around 2010 until now, I've pretty much sat there at about 240, maybe 250 pounds on a bad month. Again, just building this quiet self-loathing, this desire to deny how I feel physically and how I look. Probably one of the toughest things about this for me is when people try to be kind, when people try to say encouraging things like, you're not fat, you're not overweight. When I would listen to people around me who are at healthy weight levels, with healthy lifestyles that don't have extra pounds on their neck or their gut, talk about, oh man, I've gotten so fat. It's really tough to bite my tongue. And a lot of times I have said, it's really interesting when a skinny person like you says to a fat person like me, oh my God, I'm so fat. No, sweetheart, you're not. So I'll talk a little bit more of the specifics of how I'm going to pursue this ketogenic lifestyle weight loss journey. One of the primary tools that I'm going to use is actually an app called MyFitnessPal. This is an app that I used all those years ago when I first attempted the South Beach. It really does do a good job of helping you track exactly what it is you're eating and what the nutritional values of those foods are. MyFitnessPal is a free app. It doesn't cost you anything. You have to skip through a couple of ads. There's a Geico ad on there right now, but it's got a wonderful little barcode feature. So if you're not quite sure how many calories, how many carbohydrates are in this particular box of sausage, scan the barcode and it will give you the nutritional information, and you can plug into your diary exactly what you've eaten. My 16-year-old son Sebastian has in recent months become very aware and knowledgeable around nutrition and healthy eating. I believe he is going to play a critical part in help keeping me focused and keeping me on track. Similar to the ideas around South Beach, I'm going to be removing most of the carbohydrates, most of the sugars, a lot of the starches. There's a lot of food I just have to not put into my diet anymore. What's different now with this keto versus the South Beach is there's an emphasis on adding in more fats. There's an emphasis on actually getting in more calories, just the kind of calories they want you to get in. The idea of that is just so foreign, but it seems to be working. There seem to be a lot of advocates for this. And on the surface, so far at least, it seems that it is sustainable, I hope. I was at the grocery store with Sebastian yesterday, and we began to shop for some of the food items I'm going to need. Well, at the pharmacy in my grocery store, if you've ever heard of, or if you have a Wegmans grocery store anywhere near you, you know what a wonderful shopping experience that is. So at the Wegmans pharmacy, they have one of those convenient sit-down blood pressure machines. Stick your arm in there, hit the button, see what it comes out as. Blood pressure's always been one of those things that's just a constant fight and a constant struggle for me. I've become used to the fact that my blood pressure's always going to be a high normal, even when I'm on medication. The worst my blood pressure ever got was 190 over 110. And I was moments away from my primary doctor sending me to the emergency room. So sitting down at that machine yesterday, stick my arm in the cuff and find out that my blood pressure was 130 over 101. Still kind of high, but kind of within that high normal range that I've been used to for the last 10 plus years. Sebastian was mortified. The look on his face was almost of terror. Like, oh my God, Dad, that's not good. I know. That's why we're doing this. So here we are, day one, 270 pounds, blood pressure 130 over 100. I have absolutely no idea if this is going to work. I have no idea if this is going to result in significant weight loss. And even if it does, I have no idea if it's going to be sustainable. But I'd like to document this journey. I'd like to ask for your feedback and your help. If you know anything about this, please, I welcome the comments. This is going to be a very open and sometimes raw discussion with myself. You guys just happen to be here watching it. As I try to shape the physical body that I know I've always wanted to have. As I try to not only change my exterior appearance, but my internal health as well. And I hope that you will join me on my journey as I attempt to transform.